Hello friends, enemies, and those undecided. We'll hear with the October update for Age of the Deep. I know this is the end of November, but my day job schedule has been insane lately and finding time for this has been pretty difficult, so I'm going to cover November also. And we're going to just dive right on in. The start of October, I spent some time working on some Dolphin AI. I was trying to get herd behavior working more like Abzu because I played some of that. I had some success here with the Dolphin herding in the same direction as the player, but there was more errors than I was wanting, so this was kind of the closest I could get for that for the time being, and I ended up with something closer to the way the Dolphins work in Ark Survival Evolved, which is pretty good. But you can see here how the Dolphins, even at a great distance from the player, adopt that behavior that I was trying to implement, and that was just too far to work. And then after that, I moved from that into the load game menu. I had spent some time looking at the game UI database, and then I got all that artwork from the artist I use. And once that was set up, I moved on to writing the Dolphin, and this was extremely buggy and twitchy, and I had all kinds of things hogging up resources, and just failed every step of the way to do this, and I spent a lot of time trying to smooth it out. Still wasn't super good. I'll probably continue working on the Dolphin writing at some point in the future. Like, even when I'm not writing it here, it was slowing down. I think I was still being hampered by the spline blueprint that had an actor on it that was just eating tick resources like crazy. And this right here, I think, was my best attempt at getting the Dolphin to smooth out after adjusting a bunch of the camera settings. Still a little twitchy. Here's where I managed to get the Dolphin to patrol and knife the water surface. I'd say most of October was spent working on Dolphins. This came out pretty good. Solitary Dolphin behavior works well enough, and I was happy with that. After that, I moved on to the final gameplay loop for the game that was base building. But in order to do that, I had to make static bases for the NPC population so they'll inhabit those areas. And then I found out, right here that my camera position I use for combat isn't going to work for being in these enclosed places without having to do some kind of shader work to make the walls invisible or something like that. But I think I came up with a solution that works for me by working on the footstep system with the physical materials. It's fairly easy to work on that. I mean, there's a ton of YouTube tutorials on footsteps, which aren't exactly going to work for my use case because I'm using an auto material, but I was able to get it working enough to prove out how I'm going to fix this in a minute. Just decided to spam loot drops to pick them up and look at all the things that I can collect. Alright, so here's the footstep system working on the default section. And what I did was, if the building material, physical material surface is something that you can build, the camera's going to close in on you. And this works really good for those buildings, and it's going to allow me to create some claustrophobic areas later on. But once that part was working with the static buildings, I started working on the building system from Hyper. This took quite a bit of work to refactor with my own inventory system, but I got that working. And I ended the month of October with being able to put together my own little island hut. So October was pretty productive. Let's see what I did for November. Alright, so November was mostly taking all of that work that I had shown you from the month of October. Let me turn that down, that's crazy. So from the month of October, I had to bring all of that work to my main branch because I did all of that stuff in a backup because I didn't want to break my main build. So I did that, brought everything over here to my main branch, and then that's when I decided, okay, so I need to expand on the footsteps system due to the auto material not just being a bunch of material slapped together. So in order to get the footsteps to work with that, I had to go into the material, the auto material, and define the physical material for every layer that I was going to use with my 14 layer auto material here. And that was pretty difficult to pull off because there's not exactly a tutorial for how to do that. So I had to spend some time getting into some pretty interesting things. And the camera doesn't work here yet because I haven't really carried that over for this material on the main branch. And actually, I don't think I actually have that set up in the building aspect either. But that's pretty much what I did for the month of November. Didn't really spend a lot of time working on other things because work has just been brutal. Oh, the other thing I did do though was with my quests. Let's see if that's I don't know if that's in my main branch or not. So one thing I did do, which I don't have here because that's in the backup, but I do have it set up now to where if you complete a quest, that could be a prerequisite for starting a new quest based on your island score, which that'll make sense later on. But it's pretty much all I did for November was just carrying over all of that stuff to the main branch and making sure that worked with auto material instead of just the default physical material. Now I have, wood and sand and dirt and grass, stone. I need to get all those footsteps from my sound guy, and the art, which I don't think I can show you that here. I cannot. So we're going to just back out. And we'll show you guys some of this. I have a lot of things open because that's how I roll. Right here, some new art that I got from the artist. Continuing telling a story with our art, the evolution of our merpeople. And this is the in-game save screen instead of the main menu save screen, which has the other art with the swimming mermaid and the statues and all that cool stuff. So that's the progress that I made so far. If you guys like it, click the like button, hit subscribe. Make sure you go over to Steam and hit wishlist on Age of the Deep. It's going to help me out later on, and we'll see what kind of progress I make for next month. Talk to you guys later. Bye.